Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. The Explorer 4 here, the Horror Boy. And today I figured why not shoot this review over here because I was already over here. Instead of moving everything back over there, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to sit right here and figure just do the review right here. Plus, I'll give you guys a close look at my poster and all that stuff. It's not even organized back there. I got to fix some of that stuff. But yeah, this is a little bit more of a different area. Today, continuing my reviews on the Aliens and Predator films with Danny Glover starring in Predator 2. Now, this DVD, I will admit, this DVD I am disappointed in owning. Because this film deserves a way better edition than this DVD has. And I will admit, the artwork is decent. I don't mind the artwork. Although I don't know why they spelled Danny Glover's name like this, but what they did was they left his first name all lowercase, and then his last name is all uppercase. I have no clue. I have no clue why they would spell it like that. Plus, I honestly, even though the poster is decent, prefer the original poster better. But Predator 2 came out in 1990, gets a 6.3 on IMDb by Stephen Hopkins, who had made Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child, which I think I did a rant on, but to be honest, after watching it a couple months ago, I actually don't mind that film. I think it's actually a pretty decent little film. So if I ever do revisit the Nightmare on Elm Street films, I'm going to have to revisit that film. But he also made another movie that I'm trying to get pulled up here. I don't know, did he make Lockup? If I'm not mistaken. But he's a very visual director. And he definitely brings it to this film. My internet's being really slow right now for some reason. I have no clue why. But he made The Reaping, which I heard about. Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Judgment Night, which I've actually heard of. Blown Away, Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Dangerous Game, Lost in Space, Under Suspicion. He didn't direct Lockup. I don't know why I thought he directed Lockup. I think Stallone directed Lockup, if I'm not mistaken. The Reaping, some TV shows, a movie called Race. I actually don't mind this director. I think he's actually a very good director. I haven't seen Lost in Space. But Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, I think, is a very decent film. I think the way the movie looks is one of the strongest points. And I heard Judgment Night was actually a really good film. He also made a movie called The Ghost and the Darkness, which I've never seen. But yeah, Stephen Hopkins. I almost called him Anthony Hopkins. But Stephen Hopkins is definitely a very visual director. And you can definitely tell in this film because the movie is shot awesomely. And it has great lighting. It's very well shot with the action scenes being very well done. Very well lit. Definitely knows what he's doing behind the camera. And I'm probably the only one who's alone in this, but I find myself watching this one a little bit more than Predator 1. I don't know if I would say I enjoy it a little bit more, but I would say it's probably about as good as the first movie to me. And the reason that I get shocked to hear about this film is because most people don't like Predator 2. Either it's getting, bad ratings or okay ratings. For me, it's one of the most underrated sequels you can see. I mean, I think Danny Glover is an amazing lead. Now, that's one of many people's main problems, is that Danny Glover is a lead replacing Arnold. I think Danny Glover does a great job in this movie. I think he has some great lines. He's a very strong lead. He has a great purpose in the film. He's kind of a lead in his own way, kind of like a leader doing his own thing. Whereas in the original movie, Arnold was this commando kind of guy, this guy leading this team of mercenaries. Well, in this one, he's in, the police force. You have Gary Busey in the film. You've also got Bill Paxton from Aliens. So he's been in Aliens and in Predator. Predator 2 and Aliens. Both part 2s, so that's pretty cool. And I just think that, Danny Glover's two partners, I think it's Makia Konichiwa and Bill Paxton, or Maria Alonso. Maria Alonso and Bill Paxton, I think, were his two sidekicks, and then Gary Busey was pretty much the main bad guy. Do I have problems with this film? Yes, I do feel like sometimes the pacing is a little slow, and I do feel like when it comes to Gary Busey, he's good in the movie, but really I don't understand why they put his character in this film. You really don't need Gary Busey in this movie, if you think about it. I don't mind his acting. I just didn't really think he needed to be in the film. I think if you took Gary Busey out, you really wouldn't change anything. But the basic story of this movie is that the Predator pretty much goes to the city. Um, and I think he goes to Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. No, he goes to L.A. He goes to, I don't know why I thought he went to Detroit, but he goes to Los Angeles, and Danny Glover is this cop, and him and his team are pretty much trying to shut down this major criminal organization that's going on. And there's heavy gang activity. There's gang wars and stuff like that. It takes place in the movie in 1997. There's territorial gang wars, and the Predator steps in and starts murdering these gang leaders and murdering these gangs. And slowly but surely, Danny Glover starts finding out about this Predator and finds out that he's dealing with something a little bit more different than just gang leaders and criminals. And pretty much the Predator gets to have fun. He's killing, the police force. He's killing people from the gangs. He's killing people from all over the city, ripping spines out using these like cool blade discs that he throws, and it ties people's, arms and stuff off. Has the spear. Some really really cool scenes, and the crime leaders are trying to figure out what's going on as well. Sometimes they think that it's other gangs that are kind of doing this, and the Predator's just wreaking havoc in this film. And I gotta say, the ending of this film is actually very good because Danny Glover just shows this Predator like who's boss pretty much. He's fighting this Predator. They're going on rooftops and fighting. They're falling down to other buildings and fighting. They're both giving each other their all. Both going at it. They're fighting in the Predator spaceship. Some great set pieces in the film as well. To the very end, and you also see the alien skull on this pretty much wall of skulls this Predator has from other planets. And then you see his xenomorph skull, so it can be an alien versus Predator one day. Which is a very cool moment in the film. But yeah, I think that the movie is just, it's very well shot, very well acted. Danny Glover does an amazing job in the film. There's some great action, great special effects. The guy that played the Predator came back to play the Predator in this film. You have a great score. You have awesome artwork and posters. Great direction. I mean, just all together, I don't understand why this movie gets so much hate. I would say it's about as good as the first movie. I don't know if I'd say it's better, but I would say it's about on the same level as the first movie. To me, the only problem that I got is that sometimes they do certain things with the Predator. Like they make the Predator say, Danny Glover goes, you are one ugly," and the Predator goes, "motherfucker," and I'm just like, I don't know about the whole Predator speaking, and I don't know the effects in the Predator's face in this movie. I'm not a fan of the way the Predator looks in this movie. Just the way that his face looks in this movie. The creature effects and the robotics in the face. I'm just not a fan of the way it looks. I will say that, like I said, the pacing is a little slow sometimes. It does get a little bit slow. But besides that, I mean, it's got some great action. If you're into the action from the first movie, it's in this. If you're into the horror elements, it's in this. The ending fight scene between Danny Glover and the Predator, where it's like 20 minutes of them pretty much fighting in buildings, gunfights, stuff like that. I like how the Predator in this movie got an upgrade. He has more toys to work with in this film. I like how he doesn't just have the infrared through his mask. It's like 3 or 4 different ways to see people, which is pretty cool. I don't know, man. I just think it's a very underrated sequel. It's a sequel that has always been talked down to, and people always dog it out and say it's not nearly as good as the first movie. Um, but I feel like it's an underrated film. It's very well directed and it's a fun time. So I know this review is kind of quick, but there's really not much more else I can say about Predator 2. I actually really enjoy this film. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on Predator 2, and I'll see you guys on my review for Predators, which is the third movie in the series. And maybe one day down the road, you guys see a review for The Predator, but I have to watch that movie to do a review on. I've never seen it before. So for right now, next review will be the last movie that I'll be talking about in the Predator series, and then we're going to talk about AVP and wrap the series up, or series of reviews up. But anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on Predator 2. If you haven't seen Predator 2, recommend it. Anyways, thanks for watching my review on it, and I'll see you guys on the next review. Bye, guys.